Did you know that narcissists lie up to 3 times every 10 minutes? That's 18 lies an hour, 432 lies a day. Sounds like a lot of secrets, right? But the truth is, all those lies boil down to just 3 things they're desperate to hide. I've spent the last 20 years studying self-worth and narcissistic relationships. As a coach, author, and survivor, I teach simple systems to protect your power. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 secrets narcissists don't want exposed so that you can see straight through them. The first secret narcissists work hard to hide is that they depend on your attention. They don't have a stable sense of self, so they need others to fill that void. Without your attention, they don't feel like they exist. Their insatiable need for affirmation is a critical part of their psychological makeup. So if attention is so necessary for their survival, why keep it a secret? Because if you saw how much they depend on attention, the whole facade of power and control would collapse. This secret shows up differently depending on the type of narcissist. A grandiose narcissist demands admiration and accolades, hiding their neediness behind a mask of superiority. Where a covert narcissist is more subtle, seeking validation through pity, sympathy, and playing the victim. So in both cases, the goal is the same, to secure your attention as supply. Without it, they feel empty and they feel like they don't exist at all. And you see this in everyday moments, like a relative who hijacks someone else's wedding with a long toast, not to celebrate the couple, but because they feel threatened if they're not the center of attention. What looks like confidence is actually desperation for validation. Or the mother-in-law who sighs and says, "I guess I'm not important to anyone," until you rush to reassure her. What looks like vulnerability is really a demand for supply. So whether it's a grandiose or a covert narcissist, the secret is the same. They can't sustain their identity without your attention feeding it. And here's why this secret is so easy to miss. It can look like vulnerability or like someone just wanting to connect. You might see it as a plea for help. But for a narcissist, it isn't that. It's manipulation. They're using you to substantiate their existence. That doesn't mean everyone who seeks attention is a narcissist, though. People can be bored or insecure or looking for a little reassurance. The difference is intent. With a narcissist, the need feels dominating, desperate, and insatiable because their survival depends on it. When you're dealing with a narcissist who's using you for admiration or validation, the key is to cut off the attention they're trying to extract. Here's how it works. You reflect what they're saying in a neutral way without giving them the praise or reassurance that they're fishing for. If they're boasting about something, you might simply say, "Sounds like you're proud of what you've accomplished." That acknowledges their words without handing over supply. Then you redirect. Shift the conversation to something more neutral or excuse yourself politely. For example, "That reminds me, I had a question about." This breaks the cycle and pulls the attention back to where you want it to be. By the way, if you want help assessing the level of risk you're dealing with, I've created a free narcissist protection checklist. It's quick, powerful, and there's a link in the description below. The second secret narcissists work hard to hide is that they thrive on your emotions. Your emotions are their currency, and the 2 they crave the most are pity and admiration. Admiration elevates them as a hero, feeding their fantasy of superiority, and pity elevates them as the victim, feeding their fantasy of special suffering. Either way, it's still about self-aggrandizement. And it doesn't stop there. Your anger, guilt, frustration also count as currency. Every reaction is like an electrical current that keeps them running. Without it, they feel flat, empty, and powerless. And this is why they stir things up. Your emotional response proves that they matter and shows them that they can control how you feel. It breaks the monotony of their inner emptiness and makes them feel alive. So to them, you're just a puppet and your emotions are the strings. They keep this a secret because if you knew that refusing to engage emotionally makes them powerless, the whole game would fall apart. They need your emotions to feel like they exist. So without that current going towards them, they collapse into emptiness. This secret shows up differently depending on the type of narcissist. A grandiose narcissist provokes arguments, dominates conversations, or makes bold claims to extract admiration or anger. A covert narcissist plays the victim, guilt trips, or complains to extract pity and compassion. In both cases, the goal is the same, to feed off your emotions as fuel. You see this in everyday life all the time. A wife might start picking a fight with her husband at a dinner party, not just to pull his attention, but to spark an emotional reaction. Her anger, his defensiveness, even the discomfort of all the guests becomes fuel, and it proves that she can stir emotion and feel significant. Or it can look more subtle, like a coworker complaining over coffee that servers always ignore him or that his order is always wrong. He's fishing for sympathy there, and the pity and compassion he draws out elevates him as the victim, and that emotional investment becomes his fuel. That doesn't mean that everybody who seeks emotional response is a narcissist. People can vent because they're stressed, or they can look for compassion because they're going through something really difficult. But with a narcissist, the goal is to use you and to extract your emotions as resources for their own gain. It's not just that it feels dominating, it is dominating, manipulative, and never-ending. The ultimate tool to cut off this kind of manipulation is called the gray rock method. First, notice the trap. Pay attention when you feel yourself being pulled into an emotional reaction, whether it's sympathy, anger, guilt, or shame. The moment you recognize it, you can stop yourself from engaging. Then, use the gray rock method. Make yourself as uninteresting as possible, like a dull, emotionless rock. You keep your responses short and flat. There's no emotion at all. You say things like, okay, I understand, just full robot mode, without adding any emotional charge. When there's nothing for them to feed off of, their supply is gone. They don't like this. One of two things usually happens. Either they realize you're not a good source of supply and they're going to move on, or they're going to escalate to get more dramatic to try to get more reaction. And if that happens, you just shut it down by simply ending the interaction. A simple line like, I need to step away now, is enough. Your emotional resources are valuable. They belong to you. Staying neutral might feel difficult or even cold at first, but it's not about being uncaring. It's about protecting your energy and refusing to be manipulated. The third secret narcissists keep is that they don't have the capacity to care about you. I came across this metaphor years ago, and it explained it so clearly to me that I'm going to share it with you, even though it's very difficult to hear. To a narcissist, you're just a toaster. Think about how you feel about your toaster. You might really like it. You might use it every day. You might stash it away when you need to use other appliances. You might get frustrated when it doesn't do exactly what you want. And when it stops working altogether, you'll just throw it out or get a new one. No guilt, no heartbreak. It's just a toaster. Now apply that same thinking to people. This is how a narcissist thinks. How do I feel about my spouse, my child, my friend? Well, I might really like them. I might use them all the time. I might ignore them when I prefer the company of others. I get frustrated if they don't do what I want. And when they stop serving me, I'll just discard them and find someone new. To a narcissist, love isn't connection or respect. It's about utility. It's about what they can get and use. You're valued for what you provide, and if you stop, you'll be replaced without a second thought. They keep this a secret because they need you to believe that their love is possible. They need you invested in trying to get them to care. They need you chasing what will never exist. Because if you stop, they have only two options: to try to fix you so you keep serving them, or to throw you out and replace you. Grandiose narcissists often show up with overt confidence, entitlement, and a constant hunger for admiration. They treat you like an appliance they can use to enhance their image. Push a button and you're expected to perform in whatever way makes them look good or feel powerful, whether that's being beautiful on their arm or making them look successful or reflecting qualities that they want people to associate with them. But if you're sick or not feeling your best or gain some weight or you don't look as beautiful or put together as they want you to be, they see you as broken, and they will do everything they can to manipulate you into working again, just like banging on a broken toaster to see if they can make it work again. Covert narcissists also want you to be shiny, but for different reasons. In public, your success, beauty, or kindness makes them look good by association. In private, though, the buttons they're going to push are meant to make you pity them. You're supposed to overgive, overserve, and overfunction. You're supposed to care for them, enhance their victim story, and even financially or emotionally support them. And when those buttons don't work, they don't give up. They bang on that appliance to see if they can get it running again. They guilt trip you, call you selfish, claim that the other people think you're a bad person, or wear you down with constant complaining. Every tactic is designed to make you serve their needs. They become dependent on your energy, your care, and your effort for everything. If you're wondering about your own relationship, please know that this can be devastating to recognize, but it's ultimately a clear path to reclaim your power. When you're ready to check for this, use the utility check method. First, take a hard look at the behavior you see, not what they say. This is about observing actions and recognizing patterns. Does the behavior seem one-sided? Are your actions different from theirs? Next, take an honest look at your role in the relationship. Are you solely valued for what you do for them, like constant admiration or unwavering support, making them feel good about themselves, or even financial benefits? Then change your behavior. When they push that button, don't react. Don't give them what they're trying to extract. A simple, firm line like, "I'm not available for that right now," or "that doesn't work for me," takes your power back. If they react, and this could be minor irritation all the way up to chaotic tantrums or rage, or if they try to manipulate you or guilt you into the old pattern, this is a big red flag, and it's a sign to disengage and protect yourself. You're a person, not an appliance, and you deserve to be loved for who you are, not for what you do for someone else. It's a hard truth to swallow, but it is the one that will ultimately set you free. Thanks for watching. YouTube thinks you're going to like this video on screen right here. Yep, click it to learn even more about spotting narcissists and protecting yourself against manipulation so you can live the life you deserve. Okay, I'll see you over there. Bye.